Welcome everyone to the Don Vic Show. I'm your host Don Vic.
Your co-host IG.
We in the building, baby. You already know what it is and what it could be. Special guest coming on the show today, actress by the name of Donna Lee Heising. She'll be coming on the show in a few minutes. But before she comes on, man, we want to talk about the celebrity boxing we had the other day with all the fellas that came on the show. It was an amazing show. I want to thank all the guys from Celebrity Boxing for coming on the show and being a part of this. So, guys, we have our special guest here, Miss Donna Lee Heising. We're going to bring her on the show. We're going to find out exactly what she got going on at this present day. So, people, welcome Donna Lee Heising to the show.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Is this live?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man.
Like, don't worry about it. Everything's good. You know, it's his first time for everything.
Okay, yeah. I'm just trying to get things set up, so I just want to make sure. Okay, well.
You're fine. You're awesome. You're everything looks good.
Okay, great.
So, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I was excited to, for this day to bring you aboard the show. We've been doing some research on you, man. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, you are a busy woman for what we can see over on our side.
I am busy, but it's all good.
Yes. So tell us a little bit, about yourself.
Well, I'm an actress. And as you know, I'm in the Paradise Motel, with Walter Hochbruckner, and we're going to be having a grand premiere in Los Angeles on February 19th. And actually, that's how I found out about your show, because of Walter. And actually, because of my manager, Joe Williamson, who set up both interviews.
Yes. Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe is handling, I'm really excited about the grand premiere because we've worked on this film for a long time, and I'm really excited for people to see it. But Joe is handling the red carpet and all of the event details and getting the photographers, and he's great at that. So that's another thank you, Joe.
Joe Williams is amazing. Joseph.
He is. He's very amazing. And he's going to be handling publicity for, I handle publicity too, but Joe is great at getting reviews and interviews, as you know. Yes.
I met him out in LA a couple months ago. I went out there for a movie premiere, and and I met him. We actually had breakfast. He's an amazing guy.
Yes, he's great. He's one of my best friends, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great guy to have. That's a best friend, I'll tell you.
Yes, very loyal.
Yes, he is. And I also met Miss Catherine Kovic Pacino.
Oh, she's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I met her at a film festival, and then I've seen her a lot of places. And she's a great actress.
Yes, she is. She's an amazing woman. Her husband, Bill, is also an amazing guy.
Mm-hmm.
I met him as well. And I met the Reels of Cowboys, too. So I met some people out in LA just by going out there and, going to this movie premiere. It was amazing. Johnny Alonso, Shannon Lemire.
I know Shannon Lanier.
Yes.
We were supposed to do a film together, maybe, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and I don't think the movie ever got launched. But he's amazing too. I remember that he had a company.
Yes, so well.
Time.
So he's filming right now. He's I'm not sure where he's at, but he's filming as we speak. He's a great editor. You know, he does great editing, um, and takes great pictures. So yes, I had the honor to meet Mr. Shannon Lemire as well. Also, I met Mr. Tyrone Tan.
Oh, Tyrone. Oh, he's great. He's a great interviewer.
Yes, Tyrone. So
Mm-hmm.
it's funny we know people in the same circle.
Yeah. Well, it
You
looks
know?
like you met all the people. You know, I don't know them. I don't know everybody really well, but
Right.
through Joe, I've met all of them. With Shannon, I think he's on the East Coast, so
Yes.
I actually think I met him through Facebook.
Okay.
Of all
Yeah.
places.
Yes. He is. He is from the East. He's from the East Coast. I'm from Boston. He's from Baltimore. He's from
Oh,
Baltimore.
okay.
Yeah. So he's from Baltimore. So he's out in that area on the East Coast. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know you're an actress. How long have you been in the filming industry?
I've been a member of SAG for at least 25 years, and I started really, really young. I was going to UC Berkeley at the time, and I won Miss San Francisco Universe,
Right.
and I got discovered for Fantasy Island. So I came back and I played Miss Hawaii, and then I left school, and I started doing parts in Hollywood. And at the time, there were only the 3 networks, and then there were huge projects. So I had small roles in like huge projects. Like I was a dancer in Blade Runner, and everything that I did at the beginning of my career, you would have heard of.
Right.
I was Cleo the Snake Dancer on Magnum PI, and I danced with the
Magnum
snake.
PI. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was awesome. But I thought, actually, at the time, I thought it was going to be my big break. I mean, I danced with a snake. Yeah, I'm a dancer. But, I had this big snake wrapped around me, and the trainer was right off camera. But I was so disappointed because it was for the last Magnum. So it was a really big show. It was the finale. And I ended up being this huge poster in back of Magnum instead of doing the dance.
Oh
Wow.
So I mean, but I was just really glad to do it.
Okay, that's awesome. Magnum PI was one of my favorite shows when I was younger. That's all I watched, and I watched Fantasy Island. Hey,
yeah.
boss, they're playing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I love Fantasy Island.
Yes, I love that. It's amazing, to know that, or to actually meet a person that I used to watch when I was little and actually talk to you face to face. That's big for me. I'm a big fan. Let me tell you, I'm a big fan. The reason why I ain't jumping over the roof is because I got to keep my, my composure.
Composure.
Yeah, but after the show, I'll be jumping out the window. Okay, I'll be jumping out the window.
Okay.
So, which film? Because you got over 100 films that you've been in.
Mm-hmm.
You've been like all over the place. Like you're in a lot of films, and out of all the films that you've done, which one would you say was your favorite film that you performed in?
Well, I have a lot of favorites. I mean, I can't just pick one. Actually, I was in the business for a long time, and then I went into I was in show business for a long time, and then I went back and I got my MBA from Pepperdine University.
Right.
And I became a publicist in the technology. Well, actually, not a publicist. I became a vice president of marketing in the technology business. And so I built 4 marketing departments from the ground up for an SAP software company, and for an LED lighting company, and for a company that made menu boards, and then a large print company. And so that meant that I handled all of the advertising, all of the marketing, the website. I handled events. I did all of the writing. Sometimes I had help with the writing, and I worked with this everywhere I went. I took the Mark Schrimmer agency with me, which, obviously was run by Mark Schrimmer, and he was fantastic. I worked for a company called Metamore, and Mark put together this fantastic catalog. I'm still so proud of it today. I mean, it's beautiful. And so I left show business for at least 10 years, and I became a product manager for Epson America. I handled software, and I handled desktop and notebook computers. And then from there, I built my way up to the vice president of marketing. And maybe about 10 years ago, my husband told me that I could go back to show business because he knew how much I loved it. So, so I've been working my way up for the last 10 years.
Wow, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You're
Well,
doing a great job.
before that, I'm very obsessive, as you can see. And so I was in like over 100 pageants too. And
Wow.
while I was in college, I mean, I was in college for a long, long time. I went to every college in Orange County. I got an AS in chemistry from Cypress College. I got an AA in theater arts from Fullerton College. And I was a cheerleader at Cypress. And, in those days, my priorities were a little different.
Right. I get it.
So anyway, I I was like in a contest every weekend, and when you do that, you get really good at it. So I won or placed in every contest that I was in, and I learned a lot from being in the contest, and actually, that's how I got into show business. But when I came back, and I loved the business world, but I've always loved acting too. So when I first came back to the acting world, it was completely different because there were digital cameras, and so anybody could make a film, which wasn't the way it was, when
Right.
I was in it before. I mean, there were only the big projects, and the big filmmakers. And
Right.
so when I came back, I took every role I was offered just to get back into the swing of things and get used to being on a set. And the last maybe 3 or 4 years, or 5 years, I've decided, well, actually, when I got the AA in theater arts from Fullerton College, my professor was Sal Romeo, and he had a theater company on Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. So I joined that, and so I was trained in the Stanislavski method, and I did theater for many years for Sal, and so I was always trained, but maybe 4 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be the best actress that I could be. And so I started taking lessons at South Coast Rep with Matthew Arkin, who's Ellen Arkin's son. And they use the Uta Hagen method because it's theater. So, so I've learned both methods, and there are things that you can take from both. But I'm very, very serious now about being a good actress, and I'm being way more picky about the roles that I take. And Joe has just helped me so much with my career. And last year, I was so extremely lucky to that Diana Carter became my agent. And Diana is amazing. She's a veteran, a U.S. veteran, but she's
Okay.
a go-getter. She handles Daniel Baldwin, Robert Lasardo, Tom Sizemore, and she handles stars. And I'm just so grateful that she wanted to be my agent. And she's taken my career to a whole new level. And because of her, I feel like the sky is the limit. I'm really excited about this year.
Well,
Wow.
big shout out to
That's-
Donna.
That's amazing.
Big
That's
shout out
amazing.
to her and big shout out to Joe.
Well, Diana has two children in the business, and they're going to be huge stars. But Diana and Joe are both so hardworking and have so much integrity. They're people that I greatly admire, and so I'm just very, very glad to have them in my life,
Okay.
and I feel very lucky and honored.
I would too. I would. I'm just honored by meeting Joe. He's a great guy.
Hmm.
And we talk here and there. I know he's busy. I text him sometimes. He texts me back, and we talk here and there.
Uh-huh. He's always got something new going on. Well, I have to tell you, and I told you before, I have a show called Ion Entertainment. And when I was in technology, I missed the business so much. I started doing interviews with stars,
Mhm.
and that's how I met Bill Oberst Jr. and the late Domiziano Arcangeli. And he was just way too young to die. But
Yeah.
I met every horror star in the business because I was working 12 hours a day in technology and then going to interview all of these horror stars. And so that's really how I came to know about horror, because it isn't a genre that I always watched. Um, I love psychological horror. I mean, I think my uncle is Tak Fujimoto.
Yes.
He
No.
worked he was the DP on Silence of the Lambs and Sixth Sense, and I mean he's a legend. I mean, he's in textbooks. But I love that kind of horror. But I've never been one to watch the blood and guts. But
Not all can watch that.
but through doing all these interviews, I met R.A. Mihailov, who played Leatherface. I mean,
Yes,
he's one of my
Leatherface.
good friends. And Domi did a lot of those type of films, and Bill Oberst has too. I mean, so um, a lot of my friends are horror stars, but I really was never a scream queen. I've worked in every genre, and then I did theater too. So I've done just as many comedies, I think, as I've done horror films.
So question. So since you have done both, how different is it to act in a movie and then to act in a theater story, a theater movie?
Well, actually, it's completely different. I
It
was
is.
so lucky. I was so lucky to do a play called Murder in Thick City about 3 years ago. And it was the first time I had been back on stage since before my business career. And on stage, you have to talk really loud in the first place. You have to speak from your diaphragm, which is something that I always try to do. I mean, I always try to remind myself, because I think my natural tendency is to speak real high, and speak in a whisper, kind of. And with theater, you can't do that. You have to really project, because then you've got this whole audience. And then you have to make use of the space. And so you always have to find something to do. And you always have to find objects to play with, because you don't want to bore your audience. You need to vary your performance.
Right.
But those are things that can translate to film too. With film, it's when you're on camera, it's a very tight space. And normally there's a camera doing the wide shot, and then there's a camera on you from every angle, and then on the person that you have the scene with. So, it's a very time-consuming process if you do it right. And so you have to hit your mark, and you have to do that on stage too. But you don't have to cover very much ground on film, because unless it's blocked out, because the camera can't follow you. The cameraman has lit you for the space that you're supposed to be in. So, and also, you don't have to scream because there's always a mic.
Yeah.
The mics be over.
Yeah, you can be. I found that you always have to play the character. You always have to know the background of the character. You always have to become the character. But on film, you can just really live that character. Because you don't have to think about projecting all the time. And so you've got in your mind, it's more like how you would feel or how you would act. Because you've got, the person's motive from every minute to minute. And you do that on stage too. But, as I said, it's a much more tight space on film.
And what do you love? What do you love most of acting?
These days, I really love getting into character.
Okay.
I've played so many different characters now, and for each character that I do, I build a background story for that character. And then you have to, as the last couple of years, I've done leads. And so there are a million lines that you have to remember.
Yes.
And you have to have a motive for each. You have to go through the script, and you have to mark where her motive changes or where things change. So the story forward and backwards. So there's a lot of work, with each script that you get. And I think the last couple of years, I've played so many different characters, and to me, that's the most interesting part, and it's what I want to do, because I'm always trying to expand my range as an actress. And luckily, I've worked with so many different filmmakers who give me the opportunity to do that. If I can mention someone, there's a filmmaker in Ohio named William Lee, and he wrote a character for me in a film called Black Mamba.
Black Mamba.
It's a great film. I love it. And he wrote the character of Esmeralda, and he made me do I think at least 4 auditions to make sure that I did the role, because Esmeralda was the wife of Lucifer. And so she was really evil, and she was a man-eater. It's like, even though she's married to Lucifer, she comes on to every man that's on the set, and she tries to kill people, and it was completely different. That was one role that really, really made me expand my range. And William is still my friend today, and he's doing great films. now, but that was one turning point for me. That was a horror film.
Okay. So we have a viewer here, Mr. Matt Baron, and he wants to know. He says, if you don't mind me asking, how do you prepare yourself for a role? Do you change your process with different characters?
I do actually. I do change my process because it makes a big difference if it's a drama or a comedy. I think that comedies are much harder, because you have to make people laugh. So you have to, I mean, you have to think of all the things you can do to make people laugh. But the first thing I do really is read the entire script because
Right.
you have to know the story in
Right.
order to know how your character fits in there. Um, and then what I do is before I build the background, I try to now that I'm doing leads and there's so many lines, I try to memorize the lines. Um, and I have noticed my last film was The Rose Wagon, and there is this wonderful young boy who's a genius. I mean, it's like he could read the script and just know his lines.
Wow.
And I think, when I was really young, I mean, when I got my MBA, I didn't have to take notes. I could just remember what was written on the board. But these days, I mean, it takes
You
me,
need help.
I need help. I
You
don't
need
have,
help. Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't have that memory anymore. So it takes me a while to learn my lines. And so what I do is I tape record myself and I listen to it in my car. I listen to it more. I listen to it nonstop. My husband gets so sick of it, but luckily
Yeah.
he works all the time and he's gone. Um, that's how I learn my lines. And by then I have spent so much time with my character. I pretty much know her forward and backward. But if I still do need to create a history for her, I pretty much don't because by then I know my character so well. I just know her. But sometimes I have to go back and do the backstory. Um, and and then I love to rehearse. With film, you don't always get to. I mean, you're paid to do a job, and you need to go in there and you just need to know your lines and you need to be able to work with everyone else. So it's really a blessing when filmmakers do give you the chance to rehearse. And one film that I'm so grateful to have worked on is Gregory Blair's Garden Party Massacre. I mean, it won. I hope that everyone will go and see it because it's hilarious. Gregory is an award-winning screenwriter, and also he's a great actor. And so he hired me for the role of Crazy Melanie.
Crazy Melanie.
No.
Yeah. I mean, she's crazy. This film really is hilarious. I just hope everyone will watch it.
We're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it because we know one of the main actresses.
I mean,
And
I'm
that's you.
wearing like a
That's
green nail polish, and I'm wearing a red wig, and I just look so crazy in it. I look crazy, and I am crazy. But I'm so fortunate to have worked with Gregory because he was such a great director. He gave me direction on how to be this crazy character. And so I look at it and I'm just very, very grateful to Gregory because that was earlier in my career,
right.
and there are all these touches that he gave to me and he told me to do. And I'm still really proud of that film. I mean, I've gotten other roles because of Garden Party Massacre. So thank you, Gregory.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. But
So,
I do hope that people will see it. I mean, it's really a great film. Then another film that I feel very blessed to have done is Finding Purpose: The Road to Redemption from John Rain, and he wrote the role of of his wife in it for me. And so it's got comedy and it's got drama. And I think it's available on Amazon Prime. It never got released, but I honestly think it's one of the best films I've ever done, and I hope that people will go see it on Amazon Prime. I think it was my first real lead, and it's a film that I'm really proud of. And then just recently, well, not recently, but 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to do Bad President with Eddie Griffin.
Yes, we were about to ask you about that.
We was going to get to that.
But you jumped the gun, so go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to pick films that changed my career. Okay. You know, when you do so many films like I have, there are certain films that just change your career. That more people come to know you, and your career moves up a step. And with Bad President, it changed everything. And Robert Amico gave me the role, and thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Robert.
And so Robert and I and Justin Shankaro play Eddie Griffin's minions, and Eddie Griffin plays Lucifer. Wow. So, and he is hilarious. He is.
Yes, he is. Eddie Griffin is hilarious, boy.
You should have seen him on the set. I mean, he was doing routines to crack everyone up, and then as soon as the camera started rolling, he just snapped into character. And it's in my demo reel. It's like it was a small part, but it was an important part.
Right.
I just feel so blessed to have worked with Eddie, and he took the whole cast and crew to see his show in Las Vegas. I mean, it was just an amazing experience. Just the whole shoot. It was a SAG film, and because Eddie Griffin was in it, it reminded me of the films that I did when I first started. The huge films. I mean, the catering was fantastic, and I mean, all of the bells and whistles and the perks that maybe you don't get in indie films.
Right.
So I hope that people, I think it's on Amazon Prime too, but I mean, you could probably see it anywhere. It got released at just the wrong time. I mean, it premiered at the Cannes Film Festival because it's such a great film. But then the pandemic hit, and then the election happened.
Wow, so Jesus, everything.
People don't realize that it's not. I mean, it was written by a journalist, so it's based on things that Trump really did. I mean, it's a comedy,
right?
Because obviously Eddie Griffin is Lucifer, so I mean that's not real life. So he brings the comedy into it. But it is hilarious. It is really a funny movie. No matter what your politics are, you'll love the movie. The director is Param Gill. And it was supposed to be released in theaters, but the pandemic ended that.
Right.
So, it messed up the release of the movie.
Right.
So it is a hilarious film. It should be huge.
Right. So when you were talking about earlier, the part about crazy and redhead, now we saw a little clip of a movie earlier, more horror in Hollywood. Tell us about that. I don't know about crazy, but tell us about that.
Well, actually, more horror in Hollywood. I told you that I had an interview show for 17 years, and it was called Ion Entertainment. What I did was I did interviews, and I started out with horror stars because of the people that I was working for. They were involved with, like I said, Bill Oberst Jr. and Domiziano Arcangeli. So I met everyone in horror. And I met a man named Seth Matoyer, who is now a musician, but he had this huge website called More Horror, and he used to publish stories about the horror industry. So he asked me to do a show called More Horror in Hollywood. And what I used to do with the show was I would go to these horror film festivals. And generally, I started out doing horror films. So generally, I had films that were entered in the film festivals anyway. Like I won Best Actress at Shriekfest for a film called Teacher's Day by Jared Masters. And he's a brilliant young filmmaker, and I did a lot of films with him. So what I did with More Horror in Hollywood was I did, well, actually, I started out at film festivals, but then I started doing a lot of horror films, even though I'm not a scream queen. You know, at the time where the real scream queens were doing their films, I was a vice president of marketing and technology, you know, so I really am not a scream queen. I was trained in the theater, but I know everyone in horror because of More Horror in Hollywood. So when you see my, actually, you can see all of those interviews on my YouTube channel, and it's called Ion Entertainment. So you just go to YouTube, and it's EYE on Entertainment, all one word. And so you can see all my interviews on there. And what we did was we started out with clips from the movies or with demo reels, or, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, that people have a short attention span. So
Right.
if you don't have something for them to watch, they might not watch the whole interview, you know. So actually, that's how I got the idea to send that video to you, because in case you didn't have a chance to see what I've done, I tried to throw in as many posters as I could. And then also, I'm supposed to be doing another show later on in the year, and he asked me to put together a 3-minute video.
Really?
So I got the idea from him, and so anyway, that's probably what you've seen, because I've covered a lot of, well, you know, like I interviewed R.A. Mihailov. He played Leatherface. Bill Oberst Jr. has played really, I mean, he's a fantastic actor, and he's played a lot. I mean, he was on Criminal Minds. He is a great actor, but he's played a lot of blood and guts things too. So
Yeah.
those are probably the things that you've seen. Domi did something called Orgy of Blood in Wrath of Crows, where people are chewing on people's bones.
Wow.
Not things that I had done, you know, because I was in the technology industry. But you probably saw the clips from things like that. And then I did a show with Mark Patton, who was in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And so you probably saw a clip of him with I'm sorry, I don't know all these names, but with the guy that was terrorizing him, you know, the guy with the claws, and so that was another one. That was
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy.
Yes. Is that Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
Yes.
All you had to say is the claws.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, Mark Patton, Johnny Depp was the first one, the first star with Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
And Mark Patton was the second one, and he came from Broadway to do it. And I did a film called Amityville Toy Box with Mark Patton.
I heard that movie.
And it was with Dustin Ferguson.
Yes.
And at the time, I was incredibly sick. I couldn't talk, but I had promised Seth that I would do interviews on the set. So in Mark Patton's interview, we started with, I think, a clip from Nightmare on Elm Street, and then he just talks because I couldn't.
Right. Wow.
So, and I'm sure that's on my YouTube channel. And speaking of Dustin Ferguson, I did one of my favorite scenes still is from Dustin's film Nemesis 5. And Albert Payun was the executive producer on it. And Sue Price came back. She was in Nemesis 2 through 4. And she's a bodybuilder. I mean, she has this incredible body. And I had a scene in Nemesis 5 that really stretched me. I mean, it was my first fight scene, but
Fight.
yeah, I mean, it's not a big fight scene. You know, I think I just kicked someone at the end, or you know, I mean, I've taken for the last 5 years. But I mean, I did, you know, shows how high I can kick. But you know, compared to Bruce Lee, it's nothing. You know,
right.
But it's a really dramatic scene because I play a cyborg. And Kia Leong was supposed to play my father, but he got sick right before. And so Mel Novak took his place. And it's a scene I'm really, really proud of because I had to prepare so hard for that scene. I mean, it really stretched me. And it's a really dramatic scene because she's a cyborg. And she's half human, but she wants to prove that she's better than humans when she's really not. Okay,
Yeah, she's really not.
Right. You're also a martial art. You took up some martial art, right?
Yes. And I will be the first to say that I've been involved with this fantastic organization from Dr. Jim Thomas called the official USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame. And I train with my Kwan Jang Nim Grandmaster Rick St. Clair, and he's taught me the Joe staff. And so I'm so very lucky to be able to give out the awards. I've done it for the last 4 years at the official Martial Arts Hall of Fame awards. But there, I'm surrounded by martial arts professionals. I mean, they're on the level of, you know, Chuck Norris. I mean, they're incredible people. And so I'm just lucky to be able to hand them their awards. But thanks to Grandmaster Rick St. Clair and Grandmaster Dr. Jim Thomas, I have, I think it's, oh, you can't see it, but I have this beautiful award from last year, and it's the Actress Model Action Star of the Year Award.
Wow.
It's on this beautiful, you know what?
Yes.
You can see I am a pole dancer too. My pole is in my office.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. She said I'm a pole dancer too.
I need to show this to you.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is what they gave me.
Wow.
I'm so honored, and I hope that they invite me back again this year just to give out awards.
That's motivation right there.
Wow.
Yeah, he asked me a couple of years ago, because obviously I'm a better actress than I am in martial arts. I have taken it for 5 years, so I know katas, and I know all of the steps. I know all of the kicks, and because I'm a dancer, you know, I can kick really high. You can see me on the slide.
I don't want no problems.
Well, I mean,
I don't want no problems.
I mean, it does say, you know, martial arts weaponry weaponry, kickboxing, ballet also. Tell us about the ballet. Is that makes the most flexible part? Helps you out in some way, or?
Well, ballet, I think, is the basis of everything. I started taking ballet when I was, I think, 7. So I've been taking ballet my whole life, and because of that, I was able to play Leod on the stage in South Pacific. And I've been in a lot of musical theater because I'm a dancer, because I certainly cannot sing, and I wish I could. I think that is the greatest talent of all, and I just wish I could sing.
But you're still no, you're still an amazing person, regardless of all of us. You know, no matter what talent we have, in which way we find it, or how we get it done, you know, it's nobody better than nobody else.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can make up for our deficiencies with other things, and
right, exactly.
That's what I've always tried to do. But being an obsessive person, I also, even though I can't sing, I tried to be good at singing. I tried out. I don't know if you guys know the play Flower Drum Song, but Linda Lowe is a dancer, is a great dancer. She was played by Nancy Kwan. And so I tried out for Linda Lowe because she's got a couple of really easy songs. And there is a girl there who is a better dancer than me and obviously a better singer. So she got the role of Linda Lowe, and they gave me Mei Lee, who doesn't dance at all. She's like this bride from Japan, or bride from China. I'm sorry. Okay. And she wears this Chinese outfit, and she has her hair in a braid, and she's like, you know, she shuffles around after the man she's in love with. She's got like these 2 really, really hard solos. And so I had to take singing lessons to learn those songs just to get through them. And I did them like for a month every night. Wow. And I tried my best, but I can't, you know, it's like I would never show anybody.
You tried.
They were incredibly hard songs, and I just was not good. Hey. Or I wasn't the best, let's say.
Best, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're weak on one side, you're strong on the other. Right. That's okay. So, knowing that you've done 100+ movies, and you know, you dance and all these other stuff, have you ever caught yourself going into character, like, you know, just randomly going into a character?
You know what? I think being an actress has helped me be the real me. Because, you know, I decided to do good roles over the last few years, and I've turned down a lot of roles, and I've studied so hard to be a good actress that it really upsets me to be disrespected. You know, right. People just think that I'm a model or, you know, like a scream queen or something like that. If they don't take me seriously as an actress, then it just makes me furious. And before, I was a lot more like Mei Lee. I would keep everything inside, right. You know, which men don't do. You know, men can say what they feel. I have noticed that I have played so many evil people recently. Like I played the evil mother in The Rose Wagon, even though I wasn't that evil. I played Esmeralda. I've played so many evil people. I played a psychiatrist in Rod Smith's The Legacy, which is coming out this year.
Okay.
I have just found that I have no trouble sticking up for myself anymore. And I think
Great.
that people respect me a lot more. Like Joe will even tell you. I mean, he said something really rude to me because he got mad the other day, and I told him off, you know. And I think he respects me a lot more because I never did before.
Right.
You know, and he'll probably be mad at me after this if he listens to it. I hope he doesn't.
No, Joe's amazing. Joe is a laid back guy. Joe is just like,
Joe has a temper.
yeah.
You know, I mean, I try to help him as much as I can, you know, but if I don't know something about IMDb or something, you know, he gets really frustrated. So, I mean, I have to be on my toes all the time, but he has so much integrity. He's very religious. I know that he always has my back.
Yes. He seems like that, a guy that you can trust, loyal guy,
Yes.
a good friend,
Very much
true
so.
friend. You know, because of when I met, not to get off the subject, but when I met Joseph, a lot of doors started opening for me. You know,
Oh,
so Joe plays a big part in my life as far as my career as a podcaster. I'm also an actor, but you know, I'm working on a film right now.
oh,
Yeah.
what film?
So it's about paranormal. We're working on it now. We're getting all the paperwork ready, you know, the script and all that. We just got script ready, so I'm gonna head out to Oregon to meet up with Jennifer Dawn. I don't know if you ever heard of Jennifer Dawn.
I know Jennifer really well.
Yeah, so me and
Yeah.
Jennifer is my right hand. I love that lady to death. So
Okay, I didn't even, you know what? I thought she left the business. I was supposed to be in a film with her like 5 years ago.
yeah,
And I shared everything she did. And there is a guy she was working with named Jimmy Shandy, who unfortunately passed away, I think a couple years ago.
mhm.
And so, but anyway, I know her really well. She's a really talented lady. She's
Yeah.
from the East Coast, and then she moved to Klamath Falls.
Right. So we're gonna work together. I'm trying to wheel her in back into the filming. You know. So
Okay, so she did leave it. That's what I thought.
yes, she's actually doing She's working for National Geographics.
Oh,
Yes, she's doing some filming and taking pictures. But myself and I guess one of her friends that she knows in Hollywood is trying to bring her back in, and so I'm working on a project with a couple, Steve Alexander.
I know Steve is with Diana.
Man,
Hey, it's a small world, Donna. You know, we know some people, okay?
And Steve is the one who created Donna of the Darkness, which is another interview show I have.
Oh, you see. So,
Well, tell Steve to cast me.
well, that could be a possibility, you know. So, right now, Steve wrote the script. I gotta look over it when I get a chance, read it, see if I'm comfortable with it. We're gonna go fly out to Oregon to meet out with Jennifer so she can go over the scripts and make sure that everything is supposed to be like it's supposed to be before we move forward. But now that you know Jennifer, you know Steve, when we do the casting, I'm definitely going to bring your name up.
Well, thank you. They know that I'm also I'm not really a publicist, I'm an actress, but because I'm trained in it, you know, I did it for technology companies. I automatically do it for every film that I'm in.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, it's like I go the extra mile as far as doing things on IMDb and getting stories published and
Okay.
all of that because I know what to do.
Okay. Well, hey.
Awesome, huh?
So you know, is it's my film. Actually, it's the ball's on my court. So I'm definitely going to talk to my partners to bring you in. That'll be amazing to have you
Oh,
on that
oh my
film.
gosh! Well,
Yeah,
thank you. I would love to do it. No,
yeah.
um,
We're
if
gonna
we could
we're
have
gonna we're gonna talk after this. We're
Mhm.
gonna be texting. I'm gonna talk to you
Mhm.
more about it.
and like I told you, I've been doing Ion Entertainment for 17 years, but I stopped. I mean, when I wanted to be an actress, I stopped doing interviews, but I still do interviews for the projects that I work on.
Okay.
And it's an award-winning show. And that's why I'm not scared about interviewing people. I could do that in my sleep, but I'm really scared about being interviewed. But you guys are just so great that it's been fun.
Right.
But anyway, I use my show just to promote the films that I'm in.
Okay.
Um,
So that's funny because I'm doing something for Jennifer right now. She has some award winners coming on March 5th, and I'm gonna promote them all on my show, have them come on my show and announce their awards for what film they got nominated for, the award they get in. So I have film producers, directors, actors, and actresses for winning different categories on films. Some for directors, some for being best actors, and so
is
on.
this for a film festival? I think I saw
Yeah,
that.
I posted up. It's called the Oregon Cinefest Film Festival 2022.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's wonderful. The more producers you can meet, the better.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
since Steve is with Diana, Diana is a fantastic publicist.
okay. So it's and this is how it works, Donna. Right? People meeting people, connecting the right people with the right people, and making things happen.
Hmm.
So Donna is helping me with my film. Um, she's amazing. She's helping me. So I got to fly out there, show her the script, and have her go over it, get all the paperwork ready, and the DNR stuff, and then we're gonna move forward.
Yeah, she is fantastic. I remember the film that I was supposed to work on with her was about these killings and these true to life killings in Ohio, the Mansfield murders or something.
Oh, the Mansfield murders.
You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was going to be a fantastic film. It had stars attached, and then I think Jennifer got sick or something. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
Catherine Coven Pacino was supposed to be one of the leads.
Yes. Well, that's another person that I got in mind to cast on the film is Miss Catherine as well. So I have a couple people in mind to be in this film. So we're definitely going to talk. I definitely will. When I tell Jennifer, listen, I have an amazing woman that I think will be great for my movie, and Donna Lee, hey, she's going to be, I know her.
I share everything. I mean, she tags me actually in all of her posts. So I share them in my group, Ion Entertainment. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk after that.
Yeah.
After this.
Yes. So, you also were where my glasses at? I'm thinking I got my glasses on. You got me nervous. You got me nervous.
You need your glasses to find your glasses.
Yeah, I need my glasses to find my glasses.
Yo, listen. Hold on. Let me ask you this one question. I haven't asked this question in a while.
Okay.
If you could describe yourself in one word, what would that be?
Achievement oriented, except that's 2 words.
Don't be cheating. One word.
Okay, it would be either driven, obsessive, hard worker, but that's 2 words.
No, you're up to 3 already, Donna.
Yeah, you moved to 3.
up to 3.
Just you're good. You're good.
Okay. I know. It's like, how do you do it in 1 word?
Exactly, and that's
I would say fabulous.
yeah. And those are the questions, like you said. You know,
Thank you.
Outstanding.
yeah. You
There is one film I want to talk about before we go, because I know Jen
absolutely.
the film isn't even out yet.
Okay.
But my best friend is Dr. Rena Wolzinger, and she works for a virtual reality company. She's the CTO. She's helping with the West Coast studio. She's a musician for Jay-Z. She was my Final Cut Pro professor at Golden West College, and that's how I met her. But she lives 2 streets over from me.
Okay.
And she's also on the Grammy committee. And then her husband is an American Airlines pilot, and he goes on CNN whenever there's a disaster to talk about things. But he's also the guy who threw Alec Baldwin off the plane. I don't know if you guys remember that. He had a handlebar mustache. Look it up on Saturday Night Live, because Alec Baldwin did this skit where he was playing Keith Wolzinger, who is Rena's husband. And Keith, when he's not flying, he helps with all of our film shoots. And Rena's sister is Dr. Heather Joseph Witham, and she's a professor and a vampire expert, but she was also on Mythbusters. I mean, those 2 women are incredible. They're geniuses. And then a friend of Rena's is another American Airlines pilot named Craig Railsback, and he is Steve Railsback's nephew. And they all live around me here in Huntington Beach.
Wow, that's awesome.
Steve Railsback played Manson. So anyway, we started working on this film a year ago. Heather wrote the script. It's called Down and Out in Vampire Hills. And because Heather wrote it, it's an amazing script. Steve has directed it. And he's a fantastic director, and he's a fantastic lighting expert. He filmed my Lady Macbeth monologue, and he filmed my Hamlet monologue for Witches of the Sands by Tony Mardon. And so anyway, we've been working on this film. It's a horror comedy. And it stars me as the vampire queen and Ken May as my servant, and my friend LeJean Stewart is another addition to the cast, and he is hilarious. He is so funny. And we brought in Bill Housekeeper, who is also with Diana, and I met him at Diana's birthday party.
Wow.
So from there, he's in our film. My good friend Deborah Dutch, who is a real scream queen, is in it. And also Walter Bruckner and his wife Vera are in it, because we were shooting the weekend after we finished the Paradise Motel. So Walter told me he wanted to be in it. So anyway, it's turned out to be, Craig is so happy with it. And Gaz Jackson did this fantastic new poster for it. So I am going to try to get us a really big premiere for this one, because it's a short film. So I don't think we can get distribution, but Craig's goal is, from this short film, my goal actually is to win tons and tons of awards for it, and I'm sure it will, because of Craig's work. So we're not thinking, what we're going to try to do is raise the funds to make a full-length feature. and make it big, make it really big. But it surpassed all of our expectations, and I hope I really don't. It hasn't been finished yet, so I don't know what I plan for it, except that I know it's going to win tons of awards, and I'm going to try to get it a premiere in Hollywood, some way. Okay.
Now, hey, when you do the premiere, make sure you send me an invitation, and I'll come there and show you support.
Definitely. I'm actually going to try to get the Grauman's Chinese Theater, or whatever it's called now. Wish me luck.
Okay, you know what's funny? You said the Chinese Theater. It is the Chinese Theater. It's one of the biggest theaters in Hollywood, and my good friend Mr. Harley Wallen is gonna shoot.
No.
And Mrs. Katie Wallen, another good friend of mine, doing. See, we know a lot of people.
Well, the thing is, I know Harley because he's with Joe, but he's never cast me in any of his films.
She's like, well, wait, I know him.
Yeah, so he actually invited me to go out to his premiere in March 1st. But because I'm going to Celebrity Boxing on March 26th, I can only do one trip. Either I'm going to go out there or I'm going to go out to Atlantic City. So,
okay. Well, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
Atlantic City.
Thanks, Donna.
I know.
Thanks, Donna. You threw me right under the bus. but definitely, I know there's always going to be premieres and stuff. So, and he's always going to do premieres on his film. So I think I'm going to pass this one and go to the fight.
Harley's always winning awards because I think it's probably through the Golden State Film Festival, because they show their films at the Grauman's Chinese. And we're going to miss this film festival because our film's not even done. It's really blowing all my plans.
Right. Yeah. But at least you can at least go to the one in the Wallen, Mr. Wallen's event. I mean, if you like.
Actually, we're both involved in this wonderful, wonderful film festival called. That's one I'd love to invite you to. It's called the Hollywood Global Film Festival. Harley and Katie won some sort of award at the last one, which was in December, and I won an award for best music video. Well, actually, I didn't win it. Nathan Castile and this duo called Always You won it for their music video, but I'm the one who submitted it, and I'm the one who does all the publicity for this music video because they're musicians, and this music video has won at least 15 awards, and it's not done yet.
Wow. So you're a busy woman overall. Besides the acting, you're into business.
I want to act first. Let's make that clear.
Okay.
But when I'm not acting, my husband is a certified financial planner, and so he works 6 days a week. He's always working. And when he comes home, it's really late, and I'll find myself, I'll still be working. And I'm not getting paid for this. So I'm wondering, what am I working on? But it's all the PR stuff. There's so much to do. Whether I'm the executive producer of my own film. I mean, we're all executive producers. So there's so much that you're responsible for when it's your film. But even if you're just the star of the film, there's so much you have to do, because then I end up doing all of the publicity again.
Right.
And it just never stops. I mean, IMDb takes so much time getting stories out. You have to find the right channels where the story will get listed on IMDb. Because I am not a publicist, but I'm listed as a publicist, I can get particulars shown next to the poster on IMDb, and that's the secret. for all of the films I've been in lately. And I don't have a trailer for Down and Out in Vampire Hills yet, so I can't, I can't do that. But it is a film that's really close to my heart, and I have big plans for it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're busy, you're doing your thing, and I'm happy that we both know a lot
So
of people.
many people.
We know the same people, okay?
Wow.
And I definitely will be talking to you about casting on our film. Um,
Yeah, you know what? I know so many people, um, because because I've been in the business for a long time and because I've done so many
Yeah.
films, you know, but
25
also,
years. God bless you.
so
God bless.
this is going to
also
be
because of Joe and Diana too. I don't know if I already mentioned this. I'm sure I did, but Diana handles Daniel Baldwin and Tom Sizemore and Robert Lasardo and
yeah
um,
clients. Those are big clients.
yeah, huge people. Yeah, I know I did mention this because it's because of her that I have hope to get to
Yes,
where I want to go.
yes. And it's what, Donna, it's about who the people you connect to make your dreams come true, and
And
and that's
who knows you can act, and
yes,
luckily Diana's a very, very strong person. She's a US veteran, but she did her homework on me and she found out I could act, and that's the only reason she took me, not because of any of
yeah,
the
right, right. So this is going to be my first film, and I'm just putting the right people at the right places where I need them to be to make this film successful. And so when I fly out to Oregon and meet with Jennifer, we get everything settled, and when we get ready to cast, then because it's my film, um, I'll be doing the casting, and
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, so I'll definitely going to keep you in mind, and I'm pretty sure Jennifer will be excited to know that you'll probably be part of this film. So
I would love to finally work with her because I was really excited about the Mansfield, whatever it's called, the Mansfield killings.
right, and because she's a tough cookie, right?
Yeah.
She's a very tough cookie. So I asked her. I said, "Listen, this is my first film, and I want to make it right. Would you mind directing the film, and I can direct under you?" And she said, "Victor, anything you want. If that's what you
And
want."
you need to get a great cinematographer too. Lighting can make or break your film.
Right.
And because Steve's with Diana and I'm with Diana and Joe, I mean you'll have tons of help.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's
And
right.
and,
See,
and
how that help. I can't help you that much in that part. I'm here, but
the key to this is to make the film successful. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, make this film
yeah.
successful and make sure that everyone's happy at the end of the film. You know, so that's my plan, and I'm working on it right now as we speak.
Yeah, well, yeah,
But
we'll have to have a conversation after this.
yes, we sure are. We definitely we going to have a conversation.
yeah,
Donna. We going to have.
Not
you
that
don't
I'm
have
an
a choice.
expert, but
You
I
don't
know
you don't
people
have a
who are
choice.
experts. One
Yeah.
one thing I have found is that you do need, in order to be really successful, you do need to cast A-listers. Um, to get good distribution, to
Right.
get the best, to get publicity, to get into um, the
The
best
adding, the
publications.
marketing part, the
Mhm.
advertising, the publicity, the distribution. That's the biggest part.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm focusing on right now, and I'm lining up the people that are very good at marketing, very good at advertising. I'm trying to get the experts on this team so that this film can be a success.
Hmm.
You know.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you're really on your way. You know a lot of people who can give you a lot of help.
Right. And you know what's funny? Do you know Jeff East? Jeffrey East.
No.
Oh, well, Jeffrey East is he played in Superman. He played Clark Kent, Superman 1978. He's
Oh,
coming.
I saw Jennifer put out a post.
He's coming on the show. Yeah, he's coming on the show.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Not today, but next week. I got him for next week.
Oh, well, congratulations. Yeah, see, you need someone like him.
I need someone like you. I need someone like him. I need someone like Joe, like Diane. I need everybody in
Yeah.
this.
Well, I mean, you've got people attached who are with them.
Right.
So so is there anything else you would like the viewers to know about you?
Well, my website is DonnaLeeHeising.me. I already told you that my show is on YouTube under Ion Entertainment, EYE on Entertainment. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook under Donna Lee Heising, but I do want to say that the video that I sent you, a lot of those pictures were taken just recently for Balls Magazine by
Balls Magazine
by Matt Farrington and Hank Luna. And it's a rock and roll magazine, but it's a beautiful magazine. And I have to say, Hank and Matt are the best along with one of my friends named Kevin Lee. I mean, normally with a photo shoot, if you get one or two pictures, you're lucky.
Wow.
With, most of the pictures in the video that I sent you were taken by Hank or Matt. And it's really rare for me to like a picture, because I'm so critical and so picky. I mean, I've been taking pictures my whole life, so I get tired of pictures of me, like the day after I post them. So for me to still like those pictures is unheard of. And thank you so much, Hank Luna, and happy birthday, because today's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hank. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and check out
Happy
Paul's magazine. It's on
birthday.
Facebook. It's a beautiful magazine. And I've been featured in it a couple of times, but the main thing is that he gave me these incredible pictures that I like.
That's awesome. So
I think that's it.
okay, do you want to send any shout outs to anyone?
Yes, thank you, Diana, for all you do for me. Thank you, Joe, for all you do for me. Thank you, Hank, for these pictures. Thank you to all of the filmmakers I've worked with, because I've learned from all of you. I know. Thank you to my mom for always supporting me.
Hey,
Right. Number one, mom.
Yeah, thank you to my husband.
Right.
Even though he doesn't like to watch movies, he is my biggest supporter.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
That's
great.
He teaches, he's a certified financial planner, but he also teaches marketing at Chapman University, because he was the vice president of branded products at ConAgra. He brought out the Healthy Choice food line, and he brought out flavored Alka-Seltzer at Bayer. I mean, he's like a legend in his industry, and he would kill me if he knew I was saying this, because he's the most humble person in the world.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
We won't tell nobody.
Okay, yeah, that's the word.
We won't tell nobody. We just told the whole media, but we won't tell nobody.
Yeah, I know you've got a huge audience, but he doesn't listen to anything, so that's cool.
Okay, that's fine.
If he doesn't watch movies, he's not gonna watch this, so don't worry.
He is my biggest supporter. I couldn't be in this industry without him. I mean, because he supported me for so many years. You know, I'm making money on my own the last couple of years.
That's awesome.
But he is the reason why I'm where I'm at. So yeah, I think that's everyone.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you
You're
so
an
much.
amazing woman. You're beautiful. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep reaching for the stars, because sky's the limit.
Limit, baby.
And we're definitely going to bring you back to the show in a couple months and see exactly, you know, how you progressed on the stuff that you're working on. And I'm definitely going to reach out to you and talk to you about my project.
Great. Well, you have my phone number now. I think I called you, didn't I?
Yeah, you called me on my message.
I know, 'cause I didn't know how to get on the show.
She's like, I got your number. No, Messenger.
You called me Messenger.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Okay. Well,
that's fine.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to send you my cell, and I'm going to send you my email.
Okay, that's fine.
But you're my friend on Facebook, so you can always
you can always reach me. So, Donna, thank you. It was a pleasure. And I'm about to jump out the window right after this. So
I'm staying right here.
Okay. You go in the fort then.
Okay. So thank you so much. Thank the viewers for logging in.
Thank you, everybody.
Tune in at 7:00. We have Lance Carver coming to the show. He's a actor and he's also a stuntman. He was coming on the show at 7:00. So guys, tune in for that. And thank you so much, my queen, for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yes, that was Donna Lee Heising in the building.
Zing.
Amazing woman. And it's funny, this world's small, right?
Listen, before we even interviewed her and we was looking at the stuff that she does, you know, I was overwhelmed myself. It's a lot. God bless her. You know, she's getting it done. But I'm like, you know, it's good to see the progress of people from what they started to and how much they've done now.
Yes,
you know?
definitely. And some of these movies I've seen, you know.
Now
I was going to ask her, did she play in Baywatch? Because I used to watch Baywatch. Even though I wasn't allowed to, I was under the bed, you know, with watching Baywatch because we couldn't see it, you know, we was little, but I used to love Baywatch. Under the bed, looking up, I used to be like, wow. You know
I'm definitely going to be looking at I got to check her movie.
Yeah, make sure you guys log in and watch your movies, man. Her movie was a dope. Again, her name is Donna Lee Heising, and she's amazing. You can see all the work she's done. And, you know, we're going to bring her back in the future and find out exactly the progress that she has gotten ever since she left here the show. And we're going to see if I can bring her on my film in the future. You know, we're working on it. We're working on it, and see if we can bring her along the show.
Right,
as well.
right. Because they're gonna be like, hey, you know this? Yeah, I know Donna Lee. Yes, I do.
Okay. And it's funny that we know so many people in the circle.
Yeah,
you know, because I'm from the East Coast. She's out on the West Coast, and you know, who would know that we know the same people in the same circle? So that's amazing, you know. Yeah, guys. So we're gonna let you go. We'll be back at 7:00. Big shout out to Donna Lee Heising. Make sure you guys check her out. Tune in at 7:00.
Oh yeah.
With Mr. Lacer Carver. He'll be on the show. We'll be talking to him, finding out what he's doing at this present day with his acting. And big shout out to my friend Jennifer Dawn, Steve Alexander, Mark Lee from the Enlightened Spirit Paranormals, and everybody else. And especially shout out to you guys for logging in.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Again, hit the like button, hit the share button, go on YouTube, the Dawn Big Show itself. Subscribe. At one time, you'll be able to get the messages to know when we come on. I also have my page, co-host IG on the Dawn Big Show on Facebook. You know, share the love. Let's do this.
Let's do this, baby.
Peace.
Peace.
Wait, I gotta get it out. Peace.